Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Anthony Brody. Let's get into it. Let's talk about my adoption story, right? Let me freestyle. Do I want to freestyle or do I want to answer these questions? Hmm. I guess I'll answer the questions, and then after I answer the questions, I'll get into just talking about my life and freestyling, what I've been through. So, the first question is, what are my birth parents' first and middle name? Well, my biological mother, her name is Yolanda Brown, and my father, his name is Gregory Cole, aka Pee Wee. That's my father. Where was I born? I was born in Brooklyn Hospital, right next to Flatbush. That's where my family's from. You know what I'm saying? My mother's side, father's side, they from downtown. Not I said Fort Greene. My bad. They from Fort Greene. I gotta stop messing that up. But yeah, Fort Greene. So that's where we from. Uh, were there any complications at the time of my birth? Something I would never know. Hopefully, I could find that out. Speaking of one of my family members on my mother's side. Uh, what time was I born? Don't know that neither. Could have been a night baby. Could have been a day baby. Who knows? Like that's something I won't find out. Uh, did my birth mother see me or hold me? Yes, she did. My birth mother seen me and held me. I was under her care for a year, right? I was taken away twice. And the first time I was taken away, I believe it was due to a fire in the house. And the second time I was taken away, I know it was because my younger brother had passed under her care. For me, I'm the oldest boy that she had. I do know that. So yeah, when she had my other brother, he died under her care. I was taken away and placed in foster care, right? So, oh, that's what it says. What were the circumstances surrounding my placement? Like I just said, my brother dying. Yo, out of there. They came and got me out of there. You know what I'm saying? Did my birth mother pick my adopted family? No, she did not. God picked my adopted family, and he did a great job. You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. You know what I'm saying? Love my mother to death, Iola Brody. Um, did my birth mother know anything about my adopted family? Yes, my birth mother did know about my adopted family. My mother told me that they came to the house a couple of times. So I'm saying how my biological mother came, my grandmother came, my uncle came. They used to play with me, how my uncle used to wrestle with me on the floor all the time. And then it came to a point where they just stopped coming. I don't know why. So they knew I lived my whole life. But as a baby, as a toddler, they just stopped coming. Don't know why. So my grandmother, uncle, and grandmother did know where I was my whole life. Just stopped coming. Does anyone else in your family know about you? Yeah, my whole mother side of my family knew about me. My father's side didn't know about me. You know, when my mother got pregnant, she never told my father or never told his side of the family. Uh, don't know why. No, that's all her. So, yeah, my father never knew about me, or father's side of the family never knew, but my mother's side knew about me. How were my parents when I was born? Don't know. Never even thought about doing the math, but I did hear maybe like in the teens, something like that. Were they married? My parents? Nah, they weren't married at all. Um, were they religious? And did they come from religious backgrounds? That's something I don't know, but that's something hopefully I could find out, in the near future. Um, hmm. It said, did my parents marry anyone else after I was born? What I do know now that my father did marry somebody else. He married a lovely lady, you know. and they had children. So I have 4 sisters and a little brother from that marriage. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. Now I know them. But yeah, they did. So he did, and he did his thing. So that's cool for having a family and giving me my siblings. You know what I'm saying? Um, did I go to a foster home after I left the hospital? No. As soon as I left the hospital, I went home with my biological mother for that year, and all that madness was happening in the household. Um, what was my adopted family's name? I just told y'all it was Brody. How long was I there? My whole life. Listen, I was one and done. You know what I'm saying? Iola Brody saw me. We had that same birthday. She said, I ain't let this baby go. She kept me with her. Listen, I was a baby. For real. Didn't treat me no different. Um, it says, what do my mother and birth father look like? I don't know what my mother looks like. My mother's like a ghost. Since I took this DNA test and got in contact with my mother's side of the family, none of them have pictures. For me, that's weird. People say, oh, it's probably the time period. But it's like, a picture should be somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of picture. Listen, my mother was born in 1923. She got pictures of her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand how my mother has no pictures. It's like she was a ghost. As my father, I've seen tons of pictures of my father. You know what I'm saying? I do think I favor him. I know I favor all my siblings. I favor all my siblings from my father's side. My mother's side, my brother Lamont, I don't think we look alike. But I know for a fact that's my brother. But I do look like all my siblings on my father's side. He has some strong genes. I look like my uncles and everything. Like, there's some strong genes on the Cole side, for real. Oh, I even heard video of him, so I know how his voice sound, which, I do like that. I wanted to hear that. That's something that was growing up. I always wanted to, I wondered, like, how do my father look, how my mother look? How they sound, how their voice sound. So that's something that I got to hear. So that was dope. So are my birth parents still alive? Nah. Both of them passed. I was hoping they were alive. But yeah. Both of them passed. Did I hear it? Did I write? That's one thing I want to know, right? Do I have any medical concerns that I should know about from my parents? And, I could find out from my father's side what's going on because I'm in contact with them now. They nice people. Love them too. Oh, they nice people. But from my mother's side, I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the questions. Now, to really just talk about how I grew up. So as you know, I was adopted at 1. Going into this household, like I said, I didn't know nothing. Growing up, we had a lot of family members coming over. My mother's house was like everything for all the family members. All the family members came over there. I don't care where they was coming from. If it was coming from different boroughs, they were coming, spending the night at my mother's house. Like, my mother's house was like the it place. She invited everybody over. She never really turned nobody around. You know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to that. Growing up, you probably could find me with my nephew Andre, but we more like brothers because we so close in age. My mother being born in 1923, my sisters and brothers are basically old enough to be my mother and father, right? So their children are age long with me. Some of them way older than me too. But a lot of their children are in my age group. So my nieces and nephews are like brothers, sisters, and cousins to me. Like, we grew up together. Uh, wasn't poor, but definitely wasn't wealthy. I really ain't have to. I ain't never struggled for a meal. My mother definitely made it work. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. She cooked. You know what I'm saying? I always had a home cooked meal. Always had clothes on my back. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get every pair of Jordans, but I got some Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like, we celebrated all the holidays. Like, I lived a good life. Um, Grew up on Woodbine, Bushwick. That's the hood. So if you know that, grew up in the hood. So I was subject to everything that comes with the hood. You know what I'm saying? Some of my family members doing drugs, some of them being incarcerated, and that's it. But for me, that was regular. You know what I'm saying? Just growing up in the hood, growing up in Bushwick. One thing my mother always did, she just made sure I stayed out of trouble. And I didn't mind her company. So it was days like if I wanted to stay in the house and be with her, I'll sit in the kitchen with her all day. Like all day. Watch her cook, help her cook, and just be with her. Um Outside of that, I don't know. I think moving forward I'm gonna have like a lot of family members come over and not come over but come on and talk to me about this and ask me questions. Uh how did I feel being adopted? It has a couple cons. Sometimes being adopted, you feel like people don't really know you, right? Like in situations where something was stolen, because my mother still had got foster kids. I was adopted, but she still got foster kids too. So when like things were stolen, and it was like, yo, Aunt, well they call me Weasel. Yo, Weasel, you seen that? Nah, I ain't see that. Yo, such and such, you saw it? Nah. But it's like now, being the other person that was around the item that was stolen, are getting the blame. But if people really know me, like they know I ain't steal nothing. Like I don't steal. I was scared of my mother, and stealing wasn't me. If you know me, you could leave me around, whatever. I'm not stealing. I don't do that. That's whack. So I just felt like in certain situations like that, it was like, dang, like yo, my family don't know me. They really think I would steal something. Like that's crazy. Going to school, you know what I'm saying? Like it was times I had to write a family tree and I couldn't fill out my family tree because I really didn't know. They was like, yo, what's your grandmother name? I don't know. Where your family from? I don't know. I remember one time, like, you know, the teacher asking me out loud and I didn't know the questions and the class laughed at me. And I think that was hurtful, you know what I'm saying, for me because it was like, dang, like all this information I really don't know about myself, you know what I'm saying? So adoption definitely have its cons, but I grew up good. My mother, like I said, like she refused to let me fail, and I think my whole life I just really wanted to impress her. You know what I'm saying? So even when it came to school, I definitely wanted to impress her. Not saying I ain't mess up in school because I definitely was messing up in school, but then when I got my stuff together, it was like, yo, mom, look, got an A. I'm bringing it to her. Mom, look, this, I'm bringing it to her. Like I really wanted to impress her. I started working at a young age. Started at 16 working and always kept a job, and I just wanted to make her happy. So a lot of things I did just for her to keep her happy and just never let her down. I think uh, disappointing her would definitely like break my heart. Like, what? But then, like I said, she loved me, so she would do anything for me. She just made sure I wasn't no sucker. Like, don't let nobody hit you. If somebody hit you, you better pick something up and bust him in the head with it. Like, she just made sure I wasn't no sucker, but she made sure I wasn't no troublemaker neither. You know what I'm saying? And she always just made sure I had. She made sure I had. That's something I never had to worry about. Yeah, that's all I have for now. I'm gonna think of stuff later, and hopefully my next video I could answer some questions from my family members and things like that, and get to it. Just enjoy my journey, and I want, yeah, enjoy my journey.